We're getting a look at the work being done by the Hamilton County Coroner's Office after an unidentified body is found. Our Trissa Mackey sat down with Hamilton County Coroner Dr. Lashmi Samarco in an interview you will see only right here on Fox 19 Now.
This is a really big ask, but try to dumb it down for us on what goes into actually identifying someone.
So we always take fingerprints on everybody. And we did take her fingerprints, and we ran them through the national databases, our database, national databases, came up with nothing. I mean, nothing. So then we look.
But that just tells you they weren't arrested, right?
Yes, but there are also fingerprints taken for all sorts of reasons. I mean, nowadays there are a lot of employers that ask for fingerprints.
Yeah, I guess.
So there are national databases out there but she came up, she didn't match anything. So people always think, well, you can do dental x-rays, right? I mean, come on, you can do dental x-rays. You can identify people that way. I'm like, well, if you have an idea of who that person might be, you can look for dental x-rays, call their family, ask them who their dentist is, and then ask for dental x-rays.
But you can't just say, here's this, and plug it into a computer and just say, find me. Right.
There is no dental x-ray database that you can just plug the dental x-rays in and it spits out a name.
That is not the way it seems on TV.
No, exactly.
No. Okay.
I mean, and just so people know, things are not solved in 42 minutes minus commercials, plus commercials. That's not the way things are solved. It's usually a lot of hard work with a lot of people, a lot of different agencies sharing information, and that's how we got here. So DNA, people think, oh, well, if you take somebody's DNA, just plug it into some, nebulous cloud, and all of a sudden it spits out a name. I mean, I know forensic shows show it like that, but that is not the way it works. There is a national DNA data system, but a database that's kept by the FBI, and we do participate in that, but most of the DNA that's in there is related to convicted people. And there are pieces of DNA that are plugged in occasionally for identifying somebody. Like in this case, we try and identify using whatever databases we can. But it's just not, you just put it in and it spits out a name. That's just not the way it's done. So we worked with BCI in the Ohio Attorney General's office, and we worked with FBI, and they have forensic investigative genetic genealogists, and FIG for short. And this is what they do. They take baseline information, they try and find out, working with local law enforcement, what information they have, and then they start building the tree. And they use everything they can, including Ancestry.com. And I know people think, oh my gosh, I put my DNA in there, my raw material, the raw data, and what's going to happen with that? They're allowed to use it to try and identify people. And, but also, FIG was used to identify the Golden State Killer. That's exactly how they caught him. And in fact, one of those cases was found here in Cincinnati, off of I-74. So it's used for a lot of different, but putting that information in, having the genealogists work on it, then they extrapolate out, who's the likely person that they need to contact. Then they'll contact that person and say, hey, anybody by this description? Do you have anybody, who would have been like mid-70s, early 70s, white, female, that might be a relative you lost track of, or somebody that you can think of, and and you wouldn't believe how many people say, yeah, you know what, there was so-and-so, and we haven't seen her in 6 years, and we don't know what happened to her.